Hi, I'm Phil Aston, and this is Now Spinning Magazine. Hi, Phil Aston here from Now Spinning Magazine, and welcome to the last in this very special series looking at the first 10 years of Cats in Space. Fantastic career, one of the UK's most exciting rock bands and one of my favourite bands. This is episode 6. We've looked at every one of their studio albums, and this is the latest one. We're now in 2024, although we're in 2025, and the album is Time Machine. Oh, this is another good one. I'm going to go over to Greg first of all. I'm joined, as I have been with this episode, with Greg Hart and Steevi Bacon. And I want to say, Greg, because you've come off, at the time of you've come off a very successful tour with Kickstart the Sun, a double album, a real high watermark. Did you feel there was a kind of creative pressure to follow that up?
In a funny sort of way, no, because I thought, if you do a double album like we did and we chucked everything at Kickstart the Sun, there's nowhere you can go after that really. It's almost like, it almost puts a flag in the sand that it's almost like the end of an adventure in a funny sort of way. And also at this time, we also knew that, throwing that amount of stuff at Kickstart the Sun, we couldn't sustain the Harmony Factory label and the internal things of the band. Yeah. We were running out of resources, not because we were the runaway success and that you think, but mainly because it's just really hard to sustain a band to keep doing that stuff without some kind of help. And we were doing we were hitting all the same scores, and we needed to expand on the scores more. So the only way to do it, and it was always our plan from day one, although we kept quiet about it, was if we built the band up through Harmony Factory, wouldn't it be great if we could do a label deal and then sell all the back catalogue to a label and say, shovel that out at your will, because we can't afford to redo it. So we become victims of the fact that we sold product, because we couldn't suddenly go down one day, I'll tell you what, Steevi, let's reissue all the albums and get them back in HMV. It costs tens of thousands of pounds.
Yeah, because that's the other thing that to highlight here is that for Time Machine, it's come out on Esoteric, part of Cherry Road Records.
Yeah.
So this is you signing to a bigger label with bigger distribution and bigger contacts. So this is in a way another start, isn't it? It's another
It's new beginnings.
New beginning.
And it was a necessary thing to do because like I said, we couldn't keep sustaining that amount of back catalogue. And we, when you do 2 or 3 albums and you have your little cottage industry and you just plod along doing that, you can dip back into and repress them when you do a few gigs and do 500 CDs. Yeah. Unfortunately, the way that we ran away with all these albums, we thought, it's great doing all this stuff, but we can't physically afford to be able to do a reissue. So we need someone that specialises in reissues at the right time. And the right time was 10th year coming up. Mm-hmm. We had all these albums. Now's the time to hand the reins over to someone. Don't get me wrong, it's very tough to let that go after the amount of work we put in. But we'd had enough at this point, to be fair. We couldn't keep doing it. We were going to break ourselves. But we knew that we were sitting on this great little pot of potential with somebody to get it out to a newer market that we couldn't hit, because we couldn't we couldn't expand on where we was going anymore, unfortunately. So it all lined up. Everything lined up to say this is the right time now for us to hand it to someone. And by this is Cats in Space life. By pure fluke, we was told about these people at Cherry Red. I knew of them through a friend of mine, Steve Hammonds, an old school friend, who does a lot of work for them. So all these kind of things were in the background. I knew of these people. And Vicky at Esoteric was recommended, said, you need to check Cats in Space out. And they showed her footage of us doing Kickstart at the London gig with all the back screen projection, the cat pod, and oh my God. And
That'll do it.
In touch, conversation, went had a meet, said, we're well up for this. And we went, oh, that was easy. So we just signed the Cherry Red and said, yeah, you can have it kit and caboodle, you finance the next album, and off we go. And the trouble was being that next album, oh, here we go again.
I suppose they wanted it fairly quickly.
They were quite okay they did want it quickly, but they would have been okay if we'd have taken another year to do it, be fair, because we weren't going to lose whatever momentum we'd built up.
Of course, yeah.
But we didn't want the fans to think, oh, it's changing and it's all going to be it's going to go a bit cold for a while. One thing we're very observant is you've got to keep bands in this day and age bubbling along, or people will drop off and lose interest. And you can't hook them back on once they've hooked off. It's very hard. Oh no, that was then. We've now moved on to another band or something like that. So we're frightened of losing our fans by staying static. So we just like to keep the machine rolling, you know.
Steevi, what was the concept behind the title Time Machine? What was the...
Again, Andy loves building gadgets, machinery, and I've always imagined an H.G. Wells kind of big time machine, gadgets, pulleys, levers and stuff like that. And I thought, again, maybe we should go down that route. So maybe we started to think, are we just churning something out that's predictable? Oh, it's about a time machine. They're going to put a time machine on the front. It's
back to the 70s.
Yeah.
And then me and Greg always natter and stuff. And I kind of said to him, well, the problem is, if you be serious here, everybody on camera, everyone, go back to the year that you think you would really love to go to. Some people might say, God, I'd love to go back to the 1800s, swords and, knights in, Other people go, oh, I'd like to go to the year 4000. Wouldn't that be cool? All the spaceships and stuff like that. But the irony is that the year you're born is the year that that's the life you're destined to deal with. If you go back to dinosaur stuff, you've got to learn about fire lighting, you've got to learn about killing woolly mammoths all overnight, and suddenly I didn't think it was going to be like this. I don't like it. Can I go back? No, you're stuck there now. And same into the future. You've grown up in the millennium, if you like, and suddenly you're in the next millennium, 3000, going, but I don't want to eat, photon pills because roast dinners have gone. Yeah. So we said, aren't we equipped for this world right now? Let's try and not escape this world. Let's try and face what's going on, and all of us together correct it. Again, it's just another Cats in Space observation that the world could actually correct itself if it put a bit of thought in.
Put thought into it.
It does.
Yeah.
You start embrace the world.
So, and the lyric, we don't need no time machine, is, just
what that's about.
Because you're just taking your head wherever you go anyway, aren't you? It's like wherever you're running off to, you're still going with it.
Yeah, Greg, you said that in the way that the album was designed to cuddle the world and lift people's spirits.
Oh, did I say that?
Yeah, you did. And why did you feel it was important that this album has that kind of focus?
There's a lot of songs on the album that really emote.
They do.
And again, we like songs that do that. But I don't know, by now we're talking about coming out of COVID quite a few years. I mean, it's 5 years ago since COVID.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Or 4 years at the time. And I'm like, we're still talking about it. People are still so heavily affected. Yeah. And so now Kickstart the Sun was, let's come out of COVID and turn the lights on. And, and we said, we don't want to do another COVID album. Everyone's doing it and it's all very boring and we've had enough. We don't want to hear about it. I said, but what we need to observe is the aftermath of COVID and how people are now living their lives differently and how they're reacting differently and how people aren't going out as much and how people are scared of certain things. And we've all changed our lives, whether we like it or not. It's hit us way more than the social experiment that it could have been to some conspiracy theorists,
Yeah, indeed.
And I am not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm very open to the fact that I don't believe we were told the truth of what happened. I think that was a massive error or cover up or something. And I saw a film that I think it was called Contagious or something like that, and it came out 15 years prior, and it's the COVID story. Now, how did they do that film 15 years ago? And it's to the letter, even to the chicken in Wuhan. You know, it's like weird, man. You know, and that really affected me. And I'm like, we've all been duped here, and we all need to get together. And you know, we haven't got a time machine. No one's invented time travel yet.
No.
So we're stuck here. Let's not think about. I'd love it to be 1976 again, but it ain't. So let's just cuddle each other and say we'll be all right. We'll get through. We've all been sold down the river. We've now got to find a new boat. And that's basically what the collection of songs does tie a little bit together on this one, you know?
Well, the collection of songs, I felt this was an album for me where every single track could have been an opening track. I just felt everyone, if I actually take a step back and look at every single song off this album, every single one of them could have opened it. That's how they hit me.
Wow.
But the other thing that hit me, Steevi, is the drum sound. It's just...
Oh, no.
It's off the scale, isn't it? I mean, it's different. I mean,
the crazy thing there is all the studios we've used, as great studios as they all are, don't seem to have the ceiling height that places like Chapel in Lincolnshire would have. You know, that vaulted height, like we've got here. Yeah. That depth, you can get that from using black box reverbs and, you know, outboard. You can do all that stuff, but there's nothing better than
the real
top quality mics right up on big booms, right up in the, you know. And there are places like that, but unfortunately, some of the places we've recorded in haven't had that. So we've just got a great drum sound, really tight, really, and obviously put any effect we need. But Salvation Studios, if you're out there, oh my God, the drum, the room itself. It's incredible.
He sold us the gig on the bass on the drum sound. Yeah. He said, you've got to come and try the drums out here,
the guy that designed it also designed Abbey Road, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I'm sure, as in going way, way back. He's an older guy now, but he was bought in, cost a lot of money, and he saw all the pockets, all the problem areas, and he just soundscaped the whole place. So.
There's Matey Boy that went and test drove it. The Foo Fighters.
Josh Freese, I think, recorded there a couple of times and said, this drum room's nuts.
Best drum sound in the UK, he said.
Yeah. Did that change the way you approach some of playing on the songs, Steevi? Certainly knowing that you get this sound.
Weirdly, you should be using DT100 Bayer headphone, you know, the classics, aren't they? Yeah. And I find because again, as I said, I'm not a session drummer. I do session, but I don't like sitting there just. I throw myself in, so my head's, you know, I'm just. Whoa. So these things, I either have to gaffer tape onto my head or headband. So I've always used ears. I've got a great set of in-ears, and so I just hear what Ian sends me back. So weirdly, that room sound I don't hear until I go back into the control room. So I do find I get everything I need from that, and when I go back into the control room,
I'm looking through the glass.
And I'm looking at these going, what? Well, it sounded good, but was it? And they're going, mate.
We got footage of that, funny enough.
And then they play it back and I go, I can't do any better than that. Please don't make me go and do it again.
It was
phenomenal.
We sat in that control room and he starts going boom, bang, bing. We was like, oh my God, this drum. I said, I don't know where the band's going to go, but we're having this drum sound. I said, Ian, we've got to keep it this big. So the ground up, we had this enormous drums, and we went back and saw old Matey Boy that runs the studio, and he's spent $1 million on this place. Yeah. And we looked at the drums, and we looked at the mics around the drums, and we looked at the ones up in the gods. I said, wow. What's that one up there? I mean, that's the price of a Bentley up in the god. These two vintage mics. And then Ian said, you got 7 mics on the bass drum. We had seven different mics
just
on the bass
take
drum.
The top, the middle, all.
Wow.
And it's not excessive because they all did serve a purpose. It wasn't just like, we were taking them in and out of the mix. We went, they're all going in, mate. Yeah. One was at the back of the room, one was next door, one was, up his T-shirt. They were everywhere.
Didn't we? But
you had so many mics. It was like a spider.
He had his special 1930s I'm sure it's 1930s.
Oh yes, that's the one. Yeah.
It's incredible. This crazy little. I can't remember what it's called now, but even the crew that were there were looking, going, "Is that what I think it is?" Yeah. And they're going, "Yep." And the whole
makes
place
a difference.
The whole place is full of vintage, these old classic guitars and amps, Selmers, and which Greg will tell you about later.
Yeah,
but
it's
a
was all there.
Guitarist dream.
Yeah, the whole studio was just. This is now we are going to have some fun. We want a big album? Off we go, boys.
Yeah,
and a big up to my drum tech, Parker McCarthy.
Yeah,
he's part of my,
And he makes a splendid cup of tea.
He does.
Off camera, I think.
Yeah, so that's again part of the sound.
Yeah, it is a very big sounding album, and I think it's one of your best sounding albums. Although they all sound great because of your visions and how you pull things together. One of my favourite tracks is My Father's Eyes, which I think is incredibly moving.
Yeah.
And I think it's what we said in the previous episode about some songs that come out of the Cats stable they just hit you. Yeah. They just boom.
Well, that's Damien's lyrics on that. I mean, the music I'd written quite a while before, but again, never finished it because sometimes I don't finish songs, I leave them.
It was called My Father's Eyes.
It was always called My Father's Eyes.
Yeah.
And I wrote some words because my dad had died, by now 4 years previous. And always I put my kind of cynical head on. I just find it easy writing cynical lyrics. I just have a natural bent for being dark, So I just wrote. It wasn't a swipe at my dad. I would never do that. I mean, because in the day, whatever I inherited off of him, I'm very fortunate for. Because he was a guitar player and an artist. So I'm very fortunate. But he could find the down. You know what I mean? He'd go, "What do you want to do that for?" Rather than go for it, he'd be like, "I don't want to." So I wrote the lyric from that standpoint and saying how I'm not going to do that. And Damien's got a very, very personal story about this loss of his father, which is his place to talk about, not mine. But I know it. I know the story, and it's really quite horrible, and sad. So he wanted to write a triumphant song about how his dad used to drive him to the gigs, and I went, "Did he?" He said, "Oh yeah, my dad was my biggest supporter." I went, "I never knew that. So do you mind if I change the words and make it a bit more uplifting?" And said, "What, not so miserable?" We went, "Yeah, no." I said, "No, you go for it." I said, all I hear is I see the world turning through my father's eyes. That's all. That was the hook for me. The rest of it, you can fill your biscuits, So he did, but it's one of those things where the lyric was deeply moving and personal, and everybody said what a triumphant song it is. But for me, it's the opening whack of the track when it goes dun dun. It was massive. And I just thought, oh, this is just epic. And Ian Capel again, we sat there and layered up every permutation of guitar to get that lovely thing. And we had Takamine, Nashville tunings, we had 12 strings, electric. I tried every 6 and 12 and Nashville tune, which is the 6 high strings of every electric and every acoustic that we had to see what blend worked the best. And it just, again, a magical moment when you get that sweet spot and go, oh man, that sound is just glistening, and yet the powerhouse of the drums behind it and the bottom end of the piano and then the guitar solo and all that stuff. I thought, this is magnificent. It's one of my favourite production tracks that we've ever done because it came out so big. It reminds me of Cheap Trick, Dream Police. That was the goal with the orchestra and that kind of stuff. I wanted that kind of the Dream Police, and because you put a big drum kit behind it.
Yeah, Steve, you wrote quite a few of the lyrics on this one, haven't you?
Yeah, Occam's.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a bit like the Who's Sweet type feel.
Yeah,
to that one. Powerful brass as well. It's again like different instrumentation. Quite a few guest artists on this one, isn't there?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. You did obviously Time Machine as well.
Yeah.
Yes, this sensation. We sat round and wrote a song about a washed up has been, and now he's sweeping the broom up round the local B&Q, whatever. That was one of our little jovial moments. Last song on the album as well, Immortal. We kind of some of it. We all kind of
that was a 3-way.
Yeah, we
that
kind
was
of
brilliant. How it kind of went one, but
I think we did feel a bit under pressure to be because we were. This is for a record label. It's off the back of Kickstart, and we were maybe we overanalyzed stuff a little bit, whereas we might have let certain things go before. This time we said, no, let's really not let anything go under the table. Yeah. So I think that's why some of the lyrics ended up being pulled, but you know, they're coming from different sources. But then so the music was too, to be fair. You know, we were chewing the music up as well more on this one. It wasn't me just writing all the music.
Well, there's some great rock songs, and one of my favourite ones is "Run for Your Life," which is just epic. It's got that kind of chord sequence. You think, I think I know it, but you can't find it because it's just the Cats.
No.
Yeah, that was chewed up. That song was chewed up. That had a verse that was in a minor key. Do you remember? I said that intro doesn't sit with me to go into that minor thing. It sounds a bit not good enough now. And we were sitting around and kicking that
bridge back to the intro, didn't we?
Yeah, and we go, oh, we hadn't done this before. We'd never gone down that route of dissecting songs because we just said, no, the song's great. So yeah, I think it was a bit of a pressure cooker album to do.
And Forever and Ever, which is I always felt, I feel it's got a 70s movie vibe to it.
Yeah.
I know this is one of your, I think, Greg, you said one of your proudest production moments.
Oh, Velvet Rush.
Yeah, Velvet Rush.
Velvet Rush, yeah. Yeah, that again was...
that's the one, yeah.
It was
It's like the Protectors, that kind of feel.
Protectors round the Hot Kirk.
Yeah,
John Barry.
Yeah.
That's Cats in Space remix. Has always been that from day one. We use dulcimer, harpsichord, piano... You know, the Decca reverb, which Ian Capel actually has the Decca reverb when they closed the studio down. Ian got it. So, and Ian comes from the Walker Brothers and all that kind of stuff. So we know that when we hit that random Hot Kirk vibe, as we call it, we kind of really go for it big time because it's become the Cats trademark in a way. And I'm so pleased that we've nailed that because I never get sick of putting it on a track. On the new stuff we do now, we've got a thing that says Randall Kirk. And we know we're doing Randall on this one, so we know how to do it. And it's great fun because we can do it because we've made it our little thing, you know. And Velvet Rush is just one of those songs where, for a long time, it wasn't right. The song wasn't moving right, and we went round and round and round on it and kept trying different grooves, and we tried drum machines. At one point, Steevi wasn't going to play on it. We agreed that it might be a drum machine, just a loop, and let the song do the work. And then, of course, when you record these massive drums down at Salvation, we're going, no, you're going to have to put the drums on this one. How are we not going to? And you just sat on it, and sometimes you have to wait for the moment of inspiration to come along to make it right. But so that was a long time to do that song. That's why I'm really pleased with it.
That's probably the most disciplined drum track on this album for me. Even though it's got the it's very simple. You know, the positioning of everything has to be so the song breathes as we intended.
And again, Damien sent up a guide vocal for it to put on the demo at Steevi's so we could see where it was going to go, and we just went,
it was ready then, to be honest. We could have released it as it was.
We didn't need to do anything. It was like, here we go.
It's amazing.
And it inspires you. You know, he's an inspiring singer. You know, and I've said this many times, and he probably doesn't like me going on about it so much, but we really feel like we've got Freddie Mercury and Steve Perry and Dennis DeYoung sitting there just ready to, we're me lads, you know. He's that good, and I really do believe he is that good, and so whatever we do is going to sound amazing.
But he's a fantastic, obviously he's a fantastic vocalist, but he's a fantastic interpreter of other people's words as well.
Yeah, I know, he is.
He obviously, I mean, if you look at the credits and realise, Steevi, sometimes you're, writing the lyrics, or you are, Greg, that he comes in and it's as if you can, how he just feels it.
Yeah.
I mean, the other couple of songs I'd like to mention is Immortal, which feels it's a song about resilience, keeping going, isn't it? And I love that. Was this kind of about the music industry or the state of the world, or how would you?
If we were the last band on earth,
our music would live forever.
What would our legacy be? What are we going to leave behind?
It's a little bit pompous. I mean, we're not. We don't mean to be pompous. No. We're saying, we will be the last band in the world. I think when we had the chat about it originally, we said we've seen, and it's unfortunate because again we're still kind of seeing the aftermath of all these bands having to fold during COVID. They couldn't cope anymore. They've all gone off back into another job or working for Yodel or whatever. And shouldn't give them a plug really because they're useless, but we stuck at it because we're too old and stupid to do anything else. So it's almost like saying you've just got to find another layer and somehow get through. And, you know, immortal is like, well, your music can be immortal, you know, but you've got to stick around and you can't just give up, you know. It's, keep going, you know. It's a message to everybody, just to keep going, you know.
Shine that light forever.
Yeah, there's no reason why not, you know.
I mean, whatever happens, I mean, you can have a job where no one will remember what you did ever. You know, it's like looking back at what remains of my dad, you know, from his life is kind of like a couple of wood carvings or something, but nothing else. Whereas if you've been a band, even if it didn't work out, that track, that record will be passed, will just keep going through time.
Does Father's Eyes resonate with you?
Oh,
because of your
totally. Because I was 25 when my dad died, and my relationship with him was he obviously never said, "Oh, keep playing the guitar, Phil." He was the kind of guy that said, "What are you doing?" or whatever. But now I'm older.
Yeah.
I see the world through his eyes.
Yeah.
You know. So, and again with a song like Hero, this is why I think that the audience, and I know that a lot of people who support Now Spinning Magazine are, you know, music collectors or fans of a certain age, and that things now touch them far more deeply. When I spoke to Steve Hackett and he talks about the audience, how they've got tears in their eyes when he's doing, like, you know, Blood on the Rooftops, it's because the music now means it's supercharged with emotion now, more than just having another beer at the bar and sucking your
It's not frivolous.
No, it's exactly. It's not frivolous, and it's like when Love Collides, which the emotional close of the album. I mean, Damien's vocal is like it's just completely.
I don't know where that came from.
Where does that come
What were we doing?
from?
Dame's treble key change before the big note.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, boom.
That was one of those moments.
It's just it's breathtaking. The layered harmonics. It's just absolutely craft. It's a craftsman at work with a canvas supplied by you guys for him to just take off and take the audience with him. It's just
give him the keys and let him go. Yeah, I think by now, of course, you know, 6 albums in, we kind of know what we're doing with our thing. You know, we know there's the Randall Lopkirk bits. We know there's this. If we're going to do that, we know it's going to probably do that. And Ian's sitting there going, "Oh, I know where this is going. We don't need to worry about it." You know, it's nice to put a twist on a few things. Like Velvet Rush was a bit of a twist. Forever and Ever was a bit of a twist. Occam's is definitely a twist. We've never done a song that was absolutely out and out rock and roll. And it's what a tune. And Steevi said, "I've got this idea for a song called Occam's Razor," and I'm like, "What, Occam's Raisins? What's this?
On God's green earth is that?"
And I said, "That is such a stupid title. Brilliant, perfect for Cats in Space." Then, and I said, "I don't know how we're gonna." That was going to be the first single.
But what a perfect rock and roll guitar solo is in that track.
Oh
yeah.
man,
Yeah.
It's just
that's Dean Howard at his most inspirational, on the fly.
yeah. It's just absolutely in it.
Yeah.
He had a 74 Telecaster that he bought off of a good friend of his and ours, Dave Fowler from the Aussie Floyd.
Yeah.
And Dave did a couple of videos for us back in the day, but he's got this record guitar collection that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Dino rocks up with this 74 Telecaster. He said, "Gregster, you ain't seen a Telecaster like this, mate." And he just put it on without plugging it in. He just went, I went, "Oh my goodness me, it's the loudest thing ever," without anything plugged in. I went, and off he went, didn't he? And Immortal and Occam's. So it lends for you to suddenly start playing a guitar in a different way. That didn't do better. That singing bit he does halfway through Occam's in the solo. I said, "That is the best thing I've ever heard you do." It's not the most difficult. It's just got this
That's how he does it. Yeah.
ridiculous groove.
No, it's fantastic.
I decided I can't do that. That's the thing. I just haven't got Dino's slinkiness, you know, and it's a joy to watch. A guitar player to guitar player. You don't go, "I could do it." I'm the polar opposite. I'm like, "Oh, you know, more, give me more. And that was a fabulous
You do play
moment.
that excellent guitar solo on that one track, which is escaping my mind at the moment.
Crashing down.
I think I did one
Yes,
solo.
yes.
I can vouch for this. We were in my Drum Shack studio, which is a tiny studio in Essex somewhere.
He caught it.
Greg, this is on the demo.
Yeah.
And he had his, which Les Paul was it?
That was on the red Les Paul, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. That.
And he did it, played it, and I stopped. Well, obviously, pressed pause, and I looked at him and I said, "Mate, that is probably the best guitar solo I've ever heard you do. That's a keeper." He went, "No." We played it back, and we did say,
did I do that?
There'll be a chance, that we'll bring it with us to Salvation, and we'll
I'll redo it.
try and. But it was just we caught
it. And
lightning in a bottle.
I think it caught it because you're obviously you're kind of channeling your lyrics, aren't you?
First go in,
straight in.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there, Steevi hits play, and I'm just going, and I didn't even think about the run up. And now I think, that's a really difficult run up to do. It's not standard.
No, it's
my fingers work in their own weird way anyway. I'm not trained at all, so. I always feel like I'm a bit ham-fisted sometimes. For me, I thought that's a ham-fisted attempt at a good solo.
No.
When he heard it back, because you don't hear it as you're playing it, it's weird. You
No.
play it on.
I didn't mean that's one of the best solos I've ever heard you play because it was average. That was the best. One of the best
average solo.
No, one of the best solos I've ever heard in my life, and it just happened. Right there.
It fits because you don't need
amazing.
many notes, as Paul Gossoff would probably have said if he was still
Well,
around.
that's the thing.
Yeah, you just need them to actually land in the right place.
I like to think like that, where it's less notes is more. I can't do the busy bee stuff anyway. It's just it's not my style. But it's when you play it back and you go, "Oh, got out of jail there," because it's the fluidity. If you sometimes you go, "Oh, it's a great solo," but there's that clanky note in there. And there is a clanky note in there where it chokes ever so slightly as it's coming down, and that's the bit that makes it the voice.
Yes.
As you said before.
That's as if you were talking, your throat
I would
gets stuck
normally
a
have
bit.
gone, I better redo that.
It's
But
really
I
good.
left it, and then obviously there's a harmony thing that goes on. But I was really chuffed with that to get that in a demo stage.
Yeah,
Sometimes the
organic.
demo is the thing.
it's organic.
Yeah, it is organic.
I mean, because what I feel about when I got this album was I didn't know what to expect. And I'd never known what to expect with any Cats in Space album. And I think that's part of the love of it, because when you do another one, I don't know what to expect. And it's a surprise. I like that. A bit like we were saying in the previous episode. It's AC/DC, I want it to be exactly like the last one.
Yes.
But with Cats in Space, I don't know what to expect. And I love that. It's like an adventure. It's like
It's
seeing your favourite
it's a
characters
rock
in a book.
album, isn't it? It's quite a rocky album.
It is
it's
a
got
rock
ballads
album.
on there. But
Ivory Anthem and Time Machine, and it's great. Now, this is the vinyl version, boys and girls. But if you did get the CD version, which you should buy both formats, the CD version comes with 3 extra tracks, which are absolutely essential. Now, I'd like to know how you picked these, because they're cover versions, because you have a knack of picking cover versions that make everyone go, "Oh my God, how did you know that was my favourite song?" And you've done this on this album, Perfection, Music by John Miles.
Yeah.
Is that whose is it? Whose song is that? Where you go?
we used to do it live in the 70s show, so we've all played it. We've all played it, even apart from Dino, he's never played it. But Stevie's obviously
I played
played
it twice live under duress.
under duress.
It came out with one probably 4 hours notice because you had
The drummer had an
had
accident.
cut his hand open, and Greg said we can't cancel. It's sold out. 2 sold out shows. And I said, I don't know music. I know to sing along to.
Desperate trying to get out of it.
7, 8, whatever it is.
Compare with Kickstart the Sun, surely you should be able to.
Yeah. So, and I just didn't, and I just thought I'll busk through it. So I've played it twice live, but obviously to actually we recorded it live, didn't we? At Salvation.
Yeah,
We
with
had
the VIP people.
came down and wanted to see us do something. Well, go on, do something. Well, shall we record some live? Did we do Slade?
Yeah.
How does it feel? We did live as well, and we didn't do No Regrets because we already had some of the backing track, but we built on it. And the reason we did that was BJ Cole, that had played Sly on
The original Walker Brothers.
Bandoleros. He did all the original. He's BJ Cole. People just check him out on Wikipedia. He's played with everybody in the UK from Oasis back to the 60s.
Yeah.
So he did No Regrets by the Walker Brothers. So when we asked him to do a session for Bootleg Bandoleros and Goodbye to American Dream, I said, you played on one of my favourite songs of all time, which is No Regrets. He went, oh, wow. He said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. if you pay me X amount for doing this session, I'll send you up me doing a no Regrets to your backing track. And we had a version of it with Paul Manzi from years previous. Because he sends it back and it's the track. He's replayed his part. And we went, oh my God. So we stripped it all back and built the song up again from scratch, apart from the drums and my guitar solo. Because I weren't going to better that and you weren't going to better that. So we then just built it all up again, and that became another bonus track as well. But totally self-indulgent. Yeah, they're my three favourite songs of all time, probably, or three of them. We could have done the Carpenters, but we'd had to get a girl singer, you know. But
no,
it was just pretentious.
I did do the drums because we shortened down.
Oh yeah, no, he did do the drums because Salvation had to match the sound. Of course you did. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
It's just amazing choices because they're three of my favourite songs.
Go big or go home.
I mean, music is probably the most Cats in Space type track that's not written by Cats in Space as well, isn't it? In a way.
Well, John Miles, as anyone knows me, knows how much of a John Miles fan I am, and I talk to a lot of the John Miles fans on his fan page on Facebook, and it's just brilliant that there's so many people there that absolutely worship the guy, and I think, blooming good. I mean, when he died, it was the most terrible thing. You know, I just thought, oh God, you know, I never saw him live. And he's written some of my favourite songs of all time. Huge inspiration because he's a piano, guitar playing, singer. He went from prog, pop, you name it. He's done the card. I'm just like, he's the most undervalued person in this country, you know.
And no regrets, because Damien takes this somewhere that you can't imagine anyone else going.
Off again, isn't he?
Yeah, because he sings it like you would expect, and you think, oh, this is a homage to such a great track, and all of a sudden he gets in the spaceship and he's off, and
he's off. Yeah,
it just had to be done, didn't it? It's like because you know you can do it. That's the thing. You just know it. It's like if you're going to sing it down that low, can you do a Walker Brothers? And Ian's turned around. He said, I've never had anybody do a Scott Walker before. He said, good grief, it's like having him in the room. And he was, but I was like, yeah, that's great, but you've got to go up at the end because that's what Dames does, and he did, didn't he?
Yeah, but also I have to give Andy Stewart, obviously he plays our songs as Andy, but to play
John
music,
Miles.
John Miles, you know.
And all the orchestration, Andy did.
I've put that to many pianists, keyboard players, whatever, and they go, oh, not for me. He can... It's his training, isn't it? You know,
yeah, he's a musical conductor. He can do that.
So clever.
He scored out the whole of the music orchestration.
So does he do a lot of the arranging then for if you have?
Yeah, we sit down and Andy will come up with ideas like he did the Space Overture on Day Trip to Narnia on the Johnny Rocket thing. And I said, what's my brief? I said, I want it to be like a minute and a half Rick Wakeman King Henry VIII album thing. And he loves Rick Wakeman as Andy.
Yes.
He get Andy into his cape, he's happy as Larry, you know.
Yeah.
And he came up and all the sounds were spot on to Rick Wakeman. I went,
amazing.
Most keyboard players would have made it all go big and modern, but he just kept it beautifully in the pocket. And that's what he does. He plays for it's all about the song. It's
the linchpin.
And the linchpins, we call him. And he flourishes away on his piano. You know, I've known Andy for 40 odd years and we've been in bands since then. So, you know, if you're going to get a piano player in your band, you know.
Wasn't he taught by
Andrew Lloyd Webber's mum?
Really?
Yeah, he was taught by Andrew Lloyd Webber's mum, yeah.
Wow.
So he's...
same she would have passed on to Andrew Lloyd.
Yeah.
She's passed on to Andy.
And do you know the famous story that Andy says about his mum? He said, because this is going back to the late 70s, so Andrew Lloyd Webber was probably doing variations and stuff.
Yeah.
He said, oh, you know, my son, I wish he'd get more of a thing going. He said, all he's doing is he's writing these stupid musical things he thinks are going to be successful.
Brilliant.
Somebody went on to be very famous, didn't they?
They did. So this is the new album. It's just as theatrical and cinematic. So you're planning, obviously, the tour. You've got some festival gig coming up and stuff. What are your ambitions for the live show now? Now that you've got a record label behind you, are you? Because you don't think small, do you? I know you don't. You always think like we're going to put on the biggest show ever. No. So what? I mean, can you say what plans you might have at this point?
I think, well, you've got to put. For a band like us at our age, I know we keep going about the age thing, but there's no scooting around it. You know, where we're at in our careers. It's like we've got to make memories, and we've got to have fans that want memories made for them. And they'll have a memory made with Rammstein. They'll have a memory made with Bon Jovi coming out the woodwork to do another tour, or Robbie Williams, or whoever. They'll spend £300 on the day because it's a memory that how many more memories they're going to get. And we want a little bit of that. We think, well, we need to try and take that template a little bit as best we can and put on as best show as we possibly can, and hope that we can reach more people by doing it our way, because we do fly in the face of the rock scene to the point where a lot of festivals don't get us, they don't understand us, or they don't really fit where we're going with the lineup. And we get that. So all you can do is go for the battles that you can take part in, and if you can't, don't stress over it, and then wait for the big one to come in, which we've got coming up in July.
In July, yeah.
ELO and the Doobies.
We're playing with Electric Light Orchestra in July, are we not?
We are indeed.
At Hyde Park.
I remember being in my dad's car. Is it 12 track?
8 track.
8 track.
8 track, yeah.
Out of the blue. I was like, what is this stuff? Little did I know that little 8-9-year-old kid was,
joining them on their last gig.
Yeah.
It's their last gig, isn't it? So
we think there'll be more than just Jeff there somehow, Jeff Lynne. We think there'll be more.
We've heard a little rumour.
Have you?
We know.
Well, Danny Harrison is playing on the support to them.
George Harrison's
Harrison's son.
Yeah. So he's godson to certain people.
Travelling Wilburys, anybody?
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, we didn't say that.
No, I didn't say that.
We don't know anything.
But yeah, so we've got that to look forward to. But obviously that we've got to get that nailed and, get the rehearsals up so we're spot on.
And convert some serious people there. There's 65,000 people there.
Maybe we can change some ideals there. And
Yeah, I mean, how would the connection between Cats in Space and your fan base, Cats Army, I mean, how's that developed over the last 10 years?
Well, we'd like a lot more because, it's been, I think had COVID not have happened maybe, and maybe we'd have had that traction running through a little bit cleaner, we might have managed to get kind of, as a lot of bands, maybe a bit more established. So we're well aware that we're still small potatoes. Yeah. Even though we've got all this stuff, it's still small potatoes, and we need to get a lot more people along.
We seem to have got a traction back.
Yeah, we're finally getting the traction back now.
So it's full steam ahead. So.
And we hopefully will, with gigs like, obviously playing in Sweden for the first time, and we're going to France, and we got another Sweden festival next year.
Yeah,
so hopefully...
Ireland last week.
Yeah, and the website picks up little orders from New Zealand and, Europe every now and again. So it's... As I've always said, there's a million people out there that would be a die-hard Cats in Space fan, but you've literally got to go and handpick them.
You've got to go and find them.
And hopefully, Phil, again, your audience.
Yes.
They may have missed the how many times do we get, hang on a minute, how have I missed this band? How is it? 9 out, 8...
8, 9, 10 albums, whatever.
Yeah. Obviously, you've got live albums too. That's why we say.
I think.
How have we missed these guys? And they're really actually angry. So they buy the whole back catalogue and say.
Which I think this is really important, because I think that in respect to what I do, I find that a lot of older rock fans really are looking for something new, because they're listening to they're buying the same records they bought several times over. But there is new music hiding in plain sight. Yeah. And the positive news is they've seen in the album charts now, rock, like the new Ghost album, got to nearly 2 in the charts over in the USA and in the UK. Yeah. The Darkness album went straight into the top 5. So there seems to be an appetite now for guitar-driven music, seems to be re-emerging. And I think there's a lot of younger people getting into rock music, and the older rock fans are now realising, actually there is music that I love still being made, but it's not a facsimile of what's gone before. And I think that having one foot in 1976 is brilliant, because you're channeling the music from 1976 that no one else does. Supertramp, ELO, City Boy. It's not just like Sabbath, Zeppelin.
Exactly.
It's
there's a lot of that out there.
Yeah, that's all there.
Power trio, black metal stuff.
Yeah, but this is music that's emotive, that inspires you. It's perfect for this time, as you said earlier. You want to make music that cuddles the world. It does. It makes you feel great. And I think that the other thing, of course, that where people can jump on board is that signing to Esoteric, the first albums in this series we talked about are very hard to find, but soon they won't be because there's a little box set coming out, isn't there?
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1.
And that's
First 4 albums.
first 4 albums.
Yeah.
For the first time being reissued, remastered in a box set with a book and a poster.
Clamshell. Yeah.
And
Yeah, poster.
a postcard, I think. We got signed some postcards as
You
well.
can get that too.
So this is like the chance for them to get Too Many Gods and Scarecrow.
Yeah, which is very hard to
in
find.
particular. But
on
we've also
CD.
got bonus tracks on.
You can get there via our website, straight to Cherry Red, and they'll,
Yeah.
you'll get it straight away. But yeah, order.
Yeah, so Cherry Red and Esoteric are really brilliant because they're big on keeping your heritage going because they're not just a heritage label, but we can dip our foot into the heritage and the current at the same time, which is perfect for us because we have got a heritage box set coming out, which introduces a load of people to Cats in Space. Then they can pick up the slack after it. So we're hoping it's going to be great. I mean, to have a box set, I've always wanted to have a box set. It's
got-
just,
yeah,
it's all over, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know?
you've arrived. I think you've arrived when you've got a box set.
I mean, I think it's obviously we like to do the vinyl thing, but it's colossally expensive
Yeah,
to
of
do a
course.
box set. And also, it's not the right time to do that as such. But the CD box set is it's brilliant. It's a brilliant tool for us to say this is the first period of the band, and obviously all the Damien stuff is still current. So
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
it's just keeping everybody in with the whole story of Cats in Space, and I think that's important, that the momentum, you just got to keep your brain going. You can't just sit back and go, well, that's done. You've got these albums that you've got to... We've always said we want our albums to sit in people's record collections next to Rainbow Rising and, Crime of the Century and Day at the Races and all those great 70s albums. We want Cats to warrant their position in that vintage record collection, but a current version of it, and that's the goal, and it's we'll keep striving to do that all the time. We're writing albums, which we are for the next one already.
Oh, are you already? Yeah.
We never stand still.
Yeah, didn't you say you're actually you're a year ahead?
Yeah, we're normally a year ahead of everybody else. Yeah, so our world's a bit weird because we're looking in a different angle from it because we know how long it takes to put an album into a campaign and get it ready for next year. Even though we're in, wherever we are this year, we have to think way ahead or we get caught out. So it's and we did 2 albums last year because we had the live album out then.
Yeah.
So we got the live album that come out and did really well.
Fire in the Night. Yeah.
Brilliant.
I think a lot of management companies won't entertain us because no, not going near that. They just chuck out albums willy-nilly and they're insane, because we have done a lot of product in our 10 years, but we haven't got time to hang about,
No, it's very true. And no, we haven't talked about the live albums, and they are absolutely exceptional. I have reviewed the live album separately on the YouTube channel. It's absolutely superb, and it's a great way of rounding up some of your most classic tracks as well. So
we're really proud of that second live album in
Oh,
particular.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
it's a proper live album.
It is.
Frampton
Couldn't
comes
have done it
alive.
without Pete Russell.
No, it's,
Yeah,
it's
Fab crew.
brilliant. Absolutely
it was
fantastic.
It's a team, dream team.
It shows it shows everybody off as a really good kind of collective, and a lavish, double vinyl, coloured vinyl thing with all the bits and bobs of it.
It's just superb. Well,
we love it.
Stevie, Greg, thank you so much for your time in doing this series of videos.
Very welcome.
Been absolutely fantastic. So that is 10 years of Cats in Space, and we're going to look forward to the next 10. That's looking at 6 studio albums, and there are live ones, which have been mentioned. There's a box set coming out as well. So for those of you who've missed out on the first 2 albums because you're just catching up with this journey, that's coming out very soon as well. Go to catsinspace.co.uk where you can buy everything. Beanie hats, T-shirts, CDs,
Compilation
vinyl,
albums.
compilation albums,
Live albums. everything.
live albums, absolutely
Test
everything.
pressures.
Test pressings.
Test pressings.
Yeah.
All sorts of goodies. So make sure you go there. It's an absolutely fantastic band. And I mean, obviously, there's lots of Cats in Space videos on the Now Spinning Magazine channel for you to check out if you want to know more about it. But just listen and buy. Check them out first if you want to stream it. But to support the artist, buy the record, buy the CD, or buy both. So thank you for watching and thank you for being here. Check out Now Spinning Magazine at nowspinning.co.uk. Remember, music is the healer and the doctor. Keep spinning those discs and I'll talk to you all very, very soon.
Yes, right. Thank
Okay.
you. Bye. Go record some shit.
Mr. Stewart.
Okay. I cross the sidewalk, the rain is in my face. The cold wind eats into my soul. I'm looking for something, but it's just beyond my sight. Still I'm afraid to let it go. That magic that'll make me whole again, so I can feel like I did there. When love collides, you're all I see. When I'm looking in the mirror, I'm the man I want to be. When love breaks down, I don't know why. Then I'm hiding in the shadows of love. When love collides, trapped in the middle, two people on the verge of closing in or letting go, waiting for a stranger who can open up their hearts or draw the curtain on the show. I'd give anything to feel that way again, so it can be like it was back there. When love collides, you're all I see. When I'm looking in the mirror, I'm the man I want to be. When love breaks down, I don't know why. Then I'm hiding in the shadows of love. I'm hiding in the shadows of love. When love collides, when love collides, when love collides, you know you're hiding in the shadows, hiding in the shadows. When love collides, when love collides.
Oh, thank you.